Hello, everybody. Welcome to spooky season. I love October. During October, we tend to watch a lot of horror movies in our house. Usually, after I cook, we'll watch a movie. And in October, they are only horror movies that we will watch. I do tend to bring out some of my more spooky season themed cookbooks, and we do tend to make a little bit more out of that in October. Um, and so for this month, I am going to be pausing on baking yesteryear. We will pick that back up in November. But for October, we are going to be making more recipes out of some of the more Halloween themed cookbooks that I have. And I will be doing some extra videos during October because there are quite a few recipes I want to make, and I will not get them all in with only doing one a week. So there are going to be some extra videos. If I can, I would like to start doing some extra videos anyway, just if possible, like even after October, to kind of continue with the extra videos. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not, but you guys will at least get one video a week like normal. And hopefully I can start doing some more for you guys. But for spooky season, we are going to be cooking out of the horror movie cookbook. Not a lot I'm going to be making out of this one. There are a couple recipes that I do want to make out of here. There is a split pea soup I want to make, a caramel apple martini, or I'm sorry, not caramel, a salted apple cider martini, and another drink called pancakes, which is a reference to cabin fever. If you've seen it, you'll get it. If not, watch the movie and it'll make more sense. Then we also have the Unofficial Hocus Pocus Cookbook, which I have made a few recipes out of here. Most of the ones I am going to be sharing with you out of here, I have tried before. I do believe I have one or two planned that I have not made before out of here. And then we also have the Official Hocus Pocus Cookbook, which I do have 4 or 5 out of here that I would like to make that I have not made at all before. So it should be a really good time. Like I said, I do love this time of year. I love horror movies. I love scary stories. Going to haunted houses when I can. I went on a local ghost tour a couple years ago, and that was really fun. I'm hoping to go on that again this year with a couple people who did not go on it with me previously. It's just a fun time of year for me, and I'm looking forward to getting started with spooky season cooking this year. So to start with, we are going to be starting with a recipe from the Unofficial Hocus Pocus Cookbook by Bridget Thoreson. We are starting with the Mischief Night Pasta, which is one that I have made before. I've made it a couple times. It is really good. It's basically a sausage and broccoli alfredo. It's really simple to make, really good. We all really enjoy it in the house. So let's get started. All right, so for our Mischief Night Pasta, we have some egg noodles here. I just got these from the store. There is a recipe for homemade pasta in the book. I have not tried making that yet. I've just always bought pasta from the store when I've made this, just because it is a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. It kind of saves me a couple of steps. You definitely could make your own pasta if you wanted to, if you're motivated enough. One of these days I will try it with homemade pasta, but for now I am using some botten egg noodles from the store. We have some broccoli here. This is frozen broccoli that I have gotten. The recipe does call for fresh broccoli, but I just bought the frozen broccoli cuts from the store because once again, that does save a little bit of time and a couple steps, since it's already pre-cut. And everything. You could definitely use the fresh broccoli if you wanted to. This was just a little bit of a time-saving thing for me whenever I've made it, and it's always turned out fine. Got some sausage here. I am using turkey sausage, Italian-style turkey sausage instead of pork sausage, just because that is what we prefer to use for sausage in our house. You could definitely use pork sausage if you wanted to. Like I said, we just tend to use turkey sausage instead of pork sausage just in general, and it's always been really great. But you know, whatever you like. We've got butter, some Parmesan cheese. Once the recipe does call for Romano cheese, but I've always used Parmesan. I didn't realize I made so many changes to this recipe until now, but it's still going to turn out good. We've got garlic and then some half and half, and this is my last little substitution for this recipe because the recipe does call for heavy cream. I've always used half and half to kind of make it like a lightened up version, and it's always turned out fine. You really don't even notice it once it's all cooked up. It still tastes amazing. So yeah, what you use would be up to you. If you want to use the heavy cream like the recipe calls for, it would be a little bit richer, but it is still really good with the half and half. So that is everything that we need for this. So let's get started. I'm going to start with cooking my pasta, and then I'm going to also defrost my turkey because I forgot to take it out. And so it is still frozen. So I will be back. All right, so I've got my water going so I can cook my pasta. I have my turkey defrosting in the microwave. Once my water is boiling, I'm going to add my pasta. And after my pasta is done, I'm going to drain it and just set it aside. And I'm going to make the sauce in the same pot here just to kind of alleviate some of the dishes that I'll have to do later. You could use a separate pot if you want to. I would recommend using a bigger pot when you go to make the sauce because everything will get added in to that pot by the time everything is done. I just prefer to make it kind of all in the same pot just because, like I said, it is less dishes. But if you're somebody who wants to use a different pot, go right on ahead. Once my water is boiling, I will be back. All right, so I have my sausage pretty well thawed. It might still be a little frozen in the very, very center, but it's thawed enough for me to start cooking it. So I am cooking that. I am cooking this in a separate pan than the rest of it. Basically just want to kind of cook it and crumble it until it is cooked through. And then I'm going to drain it and set it aside. When I have that done, I will be back. All right, so my sausage is done. I do have that off of my heat and just kind of set aside. I did drain it and everything. My water is starting to boil. I'm going to add the pasta, and when that is cooked, I will be back. All right, so I have my pasta in my water and it's starting to cook. While this is cooking, I'm going to cook my broccoli. If you're using fresh broccoli, you do want to steam it. Since I'm using the frozen broccoli, I am just going to cook that according to the package. It's the steam in the bag type that I got, which does also kind of help save some time. When I have my pasta done, I will be back. All right, so my pasta is done, and now we are going to start the sauce for this. All right, so the first thing we're going to do for the sauce is melt our butter. When that is almost melted, we are going to add the garlic, and when I have that done, I will be back. All right, so I added my garlic. We're going to just let that cook for a little bit, and then we are going to add in the cream. Oh, this smells so good. Wish you guys could smell. You can start. The garlic is starting to smell, and it smells amazing. Okay, so I'm going to add my cream and just kind of stir that a little bit. I am going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. When I have that added, I will be back. Alright, so I did add some salt and pepper. This is almost ready for the cheese. It's just starting to simmer, so I am going to start adding my cheese. I'm just going to add a little bit and kind of do the cheese in batches so it melts nice and evenly. After I have all my cheese mixed in and melted, we are going to add the sausage and the broccoli and the pasta, and it'll be ready to eat. Once I have all my cheese melted in, I will be back and I will show you what the sauce looks like. My sauce is done. I had a little mishap with my video and it didn't record the sauce before I added the sausage in, but that's okay. You can still see how good this looks. I am going to add the broccoli and the pasta, and I will show you guys the finished product. All right, so this is done. It looks really good. It can be kind of hard to mix up when you're mixing in the pasta just because there's a lot in there, but it is possible. I have made this before with like penne pasta instead of the egg noodles, and that is definitely easier to mix up than this. It's still just as good. So really whatever kind of pasta you wanted to use with this, you can. I know the very first time I made this, I used fettuccine noodles. That was extremely hard to mix in, so I wouldn't recommend that, but you definitely could if you wanted to. Just know it is going to be very hard to mix together. Um, but yeah, this is ready to eat. I'm going to dish out a little bit and sprinkle some fresh or some more Parmesan on top, and I am going to enjoy a bowl of the Mischief Night Pasta. After I'm done eating, I will be back with my final thoughts. Alright, so it's done and in the bowl. It looks great. I can't wait to have it. When I'm done, I will be back with my final thoughts. Alright, so I am back with my final thoughts on Mischief Night Pasta. Not really a lot for me to say about this one. I do really like it. I don't make it a lot. Usually if I'm making it, it is in October, this time of year. Um, it's really good. We all really enjoy it. It's super easy to make. If you do have this cookbook, I definitely recommend trying it. It's super easy to make. You can make your own pasta for it. She does give a recipe for the pasta if you are super ambitious and want to make your own pasta. So far, I have not done that yet. One of these days, I will tackle pasta. I've yet to make homemade pasta at all by myself. I remember helping out with some homemade pasta when I was a kid, but have not made it completely by myself as an adult. So one of these days I will get there and probably share it with you guys. It'll be an experience, hopefully a good one. But anyway, yeah, we all really like this pasta. It is definitely something you could make all year round, just because it is a sausage and broccoli alfredo. I typically just tend to make it in the fall just because it is out of one of my Hocus Pocus books, and I just tend to associate it more with this type of year than anything else, although it is completely possible to make this all year round, and I really should make it more often because it really is good. I just don't, but whenever I do make it, we all do really enjoy it. It's really good, really simple to make. It's got a really good flavor to it. It all goes really well together, and yeah, definitely just something worth trying if you have this cookbook. Until next time, good times, good food, and stay spooky.